Managing domains, DNS zones, and their records is an ever-changing matter when operating at large scales. That's where infrastructure as code comes in. Using Terraform, you can control your DNSimple account's DNS zones, domains, and much more. By the end of this video guide, you'll be able to get your domain and DNS infrastructure with DNSimple up and running through Terraform. Before you see how to take your existing infrastructure and convert it to a Terraform plan, let's take a closer look at what DNSimple services look like as Terraform code. All parts of a Terraform plan have a block called a resource associated with them. These blocks describe infrastructure objects, such as a domain, zone, or record. Each resource has a unique name, and that name serves as an identifier for that resource. Inside the resource block contains configuration arguments for the resource, and these are different for each resource. Using these resource blocks, Terraform makes a plan, which dictates what resources are created, modified, or destroyed from your infrastructure. By following the guide on Terraform's support documentation, which is linked in the description, you can control your Terraform cloud workspace through GitHub Actions. Using a workflow, you can open up a pull request with changes to your resources, have them checked for errors, and then create the plan. Upon merge, you can use another workflow to apply the plan to your Terraform cloud workspace, and your resources will be updated automatically. Using GitHub to manage the state of your infrastructure gives you the ability to roll out changes with version control, giving you the power of history and collaborative automation of your infrastructure. Using DNSimple's powerful API, you can start to import your DNSimple zones, records, and domains to your Terraform workspace. Start by logging into your dashboard and navigating to the user settings. In there, click on the account that you want to import resources from. Jump to the access tokens and click Add. Name the tokens so that you can remember it for later. Ensure access to the contacts, domains, registrar, and zones on the account that you want to manage as Terraform resources, and then click Generate Token. Copy the token and your account ID. Keep them safe. You will need it to use the API. The following instructions assume that you have Ruby installed and are using it to interact with the DNSimple API. For other programming languages, check out our developer support documentation for information on how to connect to the API. It is recommended to use DNSimple's sandbox environment to test your Terraform workspace implementation before performing actions on production. Follow the link in the description to the GitHub repository that contains the Terraform importer, and click on the green code button, copying the link to the repo. Switch to your command line interface and clone the repository. Change directory into it and run bundle install to add all of the dependencies for the importer. If you are using the DNSimple sandbox environment, change the line in importer.rb that defines the client variable so that it connects to the sandbox API. Set an environment variable with set DNSimple API token, where access token is the token that you made on the DNSimple app. After that, you can run the importer with the following command. The account ID field is the ID of the account that you're importing resources from, and the following argument is for grabbing resource blocks for zones, contacts, or domains in that account. The provider argument is useful for when you have a configuration with multiple Terraform cloud tokens for different DNSimple accounts. Once you run the importer, all of your DNSimple records, zones, or contacts will be printed to standard out as Terraform resource blocks, along with other blocks called imports. These import blocks tell Terraform that you already have the resource blocks in your DNSimple infrastructure, and to import those into the plan. They are required for the initial import of your resources into Terraform, but once the resources are imported to Terraform, you can safely remove these import blocks. In your repository, you can create and organize your Terraform resources into however many files that you want. Let's use the importer to fetch all of the domains that are under the account and pipe them into a file called domains.tf. Then, let's do the same for both DNS zones as well as the contacts on the account, and put them into files titled zones.tf and contacts.tf respectively. Now, we can commit these to our branch and open up a pull request, titling it plan import DNSimple infrastructure as Terraform code. After waiting for the workflows to check and make sure that the code is valid, we can go ahead and merge. Now that we have merged, we can see that the workflow is executing the plan on Terraform Cloud. We can go to the Terraform interface and see that the plan is being run and has successfully added all of the resources from our account. Now, instead of changing a record directly on the DNSimple application, we can simply open up a new branch on our repository, make the changes that we need to, open a pull request, and merge it to main so that the plan runs. If we double check on the Terraform Cloud workspace, we can see that the changes have been made, and then check in the DNSimple app to see that we have, indeed, changed our infrastructure without needing to do it manually. This also works for creating new records and zones, as well as adding contacts to the account. Nice job! You just imported your DNSimple resources to Terraform. Now you have the power of DNSimple at scale with repeatability and dependability. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@dnsimple.com. Want to give DNSimple a try risk-free? Visit dnsimple.com/signup. Need more information about how DNS works with DNSimple? Check out other videos on our channel and read our comic linked in the description. If you want more information about common DNS records and an example DNS setup, watch this video next.